you can see, this was my recreation of that look, and I really like the way it came out actually. I didn't think I was going to like this yellow look, but I think it's really complimenting, and I'm glad I came across that picture on Pinterest. Pinterest always knows me very well. So if you're interested in finding out how to do this look, then keep on watching. So during the summer I like to use 2 different primers because during the summer my skin is more combination, so my T-zone gets kind of oily and the rest of my face is a little more dry. So I like to use the Benefit Porefessional towards my T-zone and right here where my pores are a little larger, and then I'll use another primer on the outer parts of my face. The second primer I like to use during the summer is this L'Oreal Visible Lift Radiance Booster. I really like this. It gives you just a little bit of a luminous glow underneath your foundation. It does moisturize my skin a little bit, which parts of it do need that, so it's nice to have a little bit of hydration under there. For foundation, right now I'm really stuck on the Makeup Forever HD stick when I'm doing a full glam look. It's full coverage and it's buildable. It could be medium if you put a small amount on and blend it out real well, but I'm definitely going to make it full coverage, and it's just so easy to use. I like to put it on in like stripes all over my face and then blend it out with a Morphe M439. So I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off camera and prime my eyes, and then I'll be back to do the eye makeup. Okay, so I've zoomed you in a bit. As you can see, I've done my eyebrows and I have primed my eyes. I just started using the Precisely My Brow pencil by Benefit. I really like this. I'm not sure if I like it better than Anastasia one. I need to use it a few more times, but as of now, I'm quite enjoying the way this looks. And I use MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre for my lid primer. This is the look that I am going to attempt. I'm going to use this color to set my primer. I have no idea what color it is. There's nothing on the back of it, but it's an Anastasia one. I'm going to use a Morphe E22 blending brush to put down my transition color. It's just a fluffy blending brush, and I think I'm going to use a mixture of, you can see right here. So now that I have that transition color down, I'm going to go in for a chocolatey brown in my crease. I'm going to use this one right here to start. I also have hooded eyes. Not really hooded, they're very slightly hooded, which means when I'm looking directly forward, you can't see that much of my lid. They're not too bad right now. Like some days they're worse than others, which sounds weird, but like if I'm really tired, which you can tell by the dark circles under my eyes, I am quite tired, but when I'm like very sleep deprived, my eyes get so hooded. It's like so weird. So in order to try and compensate for that, I actually take my crease color a little bit above where my actual crease is. So my actual crease is here, and you can tell I'm putting the color just slightly above that as well as in it. That way it kind of disguises the fact that they're slightly hooded. Okay, I'm going to take a clean R40 brush and just kind of blend out that top part here. I'm going to do a mixture of these two right here in that outer V. And I'm going to lay the product down with a pencil brush and then blend it out with a clean, very small blending brush to keep that color exactly where I want it. This is an M321 by Morphe. I'm not sponsored by Morphe. I just really like their products. I just love Morphe, and they're so fairly priced. It's hard not to like them. Alright, so laying the color down, I'm just gonna tap it onto that outer V. Now, using a clean, very small blending brush, this is a Morphe M507, it's really tiny. This was the original crease brush I used for my transition, so it's much smaller than that, and this is what I used in the crease. So, in comparison to the other brushes I've used, it's quite a lot smaller, and it's also pointed to get it really exact. So, I'm not putting any product on this brush, I'm just using what I already put down and blending it out. And I'm just going to go through this process a couple more times, putting on that color, blending it out, putting on that color, blending it out, until I get the desired look I want. I'm going to go in one more time with that R40 brush, the one that has no product on it, and just blend out that line at the top again. I'm going to put a little bit of concealer on my lids because I think the yellow will show up better. Also found this yellow right here in this Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. I'm going to use my Shape Tape to cut my lid out. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on the back of my hand and what I'm going to do, since I don't have a pigment, this is a little trick. As long as you don't mind semi-ruining some pressed powders, then you'll be fine doing this. Basically what I'm going to do is scrape into the pan of the yellow and until it basically has a bunch of kick up and becomes a loose powder in itself. And then I'm going to take that with my flat shader brush and I'm going to stamp it onto my lid, and that's just going to just make it way more vibrant. I'm going to use the end of this little Morphe brush and I'm going to just scrape it slightly, not too crazy. So now I've made a bit of a loose pigment. Now, you see how much is on my brush? That's what I wanted. I was examining that picture a little more closely, and it actually looks like she has a bit of a chocolatey brown that transitions that outer V color to the yellow. So I'm going to take this one here, the Jaclyn palette, and attempt to see if I can get that looking similar. I'm going to put just a teeny tiny bit of dark color in this outer V, deepen it up a slight bit, and I'm moving on. I went ahead and threw on some wing liner, like in the picture off camera. So I started out using this Scandalize Precision Micro Eyeliner by Rimmel, and I've used this like maybe 2 or 3 times. It's a felt tip and it's super pointed, which I really like because, I mean, you can get the sharpest wing, but the felt tip, I swear it's like out. Like I can hear product in there, but it's not coming out. So after having to fix a mess with the Scandalize one, I went to my handy NYX one, and this one is a really thin brush that you dip into the little like ink. It's not my favorite, but I always end up going back to it because it is matte, it does last all day, and you know, it does the job. For mascara today, I'm going to use the Jordana Best Lash Extreme. It is a drugstore mascara, and it's very good for volumizing those lashes. I'm just going to put this on my top lashes so I can put my falsies on. For lashes today, I'm going to be using Lily Lashes in the style Miami. I have to say, Lily Lashes, they're quite expensive. They are like $20 to $40, I think, per pair. But I have had these lashes for 6 months. I've had them for 6 months. I have not worn them every day for 6 months, but I've worn them probably 30 times, and they're in great condition still. So, I mean, if you consider, you know, an Ardell pair of lashes is what, like $5 to $7 a pair, and you get maybe 2-3 uses out of them. I typically don't get more than that. This is really worth your money then. So I really like these. This style Miami is really cool too because they flare out a little bit so you can actually see through them to the look that's on your eye. The glue I am using is the Duo Dark Tone Adhesive. For whatever reason, this one, the dark one, works so much better than all the other Duo lash glues. I don't like any of them but this one. So I'm going to tight line now, which just means that I'm going to actually put eyeliner on this waterline of my top eyelid as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face now that I've pretty much finished up my eyes. I'm going to conceal with my Tarte Shape Tape today, and I'm using light medium. I pretty much always use this concealer when I'm doing full glam because it's super full coverage. If you're wondering why I do such a small dot on my forehead, it's because I have what's called 5 head. You can fit 5 fingers on that thing, not 4. So I don't really want to highlight it very much. Alright, I'm going to take my Laura Mercier Light Translucent powder, and I'm going to dip my wet sponge directly into that powder. And place. Now before I set the rest of my face with powder, I'm going to use the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This is the color Rose Gold. So I'm going to put a tiny drop on the back of my hand, and then using my finger, I'm just going to dab a little bit onto my cheekbones and blend it out with my. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to use my Chanel Ultra Wear Powder Foundation. I don't use much of this, I just kind of blot it on. Nothing crazy. And with that same brush, I'm just going to wipe away the bake under my eyes. Next I'm going in with some bronzer. I used to love this bronzer by Bobbi Brown. It's called Tawny Brown. It has this really pretty red undertone. My husband, as much as I love him, I've never wanted to kill him so bad. He dropped this compact on the tile floor and it shattered. I tried to fix it, but there's really no saving it. There. Like, I mean, it looks red on camera. It's really a brown with a red tint to it. It's a different bronzer, really. This is the e.l.f. tapered powder brush. I really like this for bronzing. This is the Wet n Wild Apri-cot blush. Such a pretty little coral color, and I like the way it looks with this eye look. It's also like super subtle and natural looking. I'm gonna go to my trusty Anastasia contour kit. This is the Y10 brush. It's a little bit smaller than my typical contour brush, but since we're going full glam, I thought a little bit smaller might be good. I'm gonna actually use this more ashy gray tone today. A little trick I like to do too, since I have kind of smaller lips, is I like to take just whatever's left on that contouring brush and put it just underneath my bottom lip here. And then it creates like a shadow, as if my bottom lip were so big that it creates a shadow on my like chin area. Cool, right? Next I'm going to take my R33 brush, and I'm actually going to dip into that more pinky tone shade for my nose contour. I always use that one for my nose, it looks the best. So I'm just going to real lightly. Now, even though I cream highlighted, I am going to go back in with a powder highlight. This is the Wet n Wild, I believe it's Precious Petals. I don't think they have the names on here, but I'm pretty sure this one's Precious Petals. This is from the Megaglo collection. I know they came out with new ones recently, but this is one of the originals and it is phenomenal. For this highlight, I'm actually going to use a Morphe M501. And I'm going to put this very generously on top of where I put that cream. Last thing I'm going to do is finish up my eyes, and I can't see the bottom of this girl's lash line in this picture that I got on Pinterest, so I'm going to do what I want. So taking my M432 straight flat brush from Morphe, I'm going to take, I have a visitor, that's Princess Leia, my 4-month-old German Shepherd. And she has a wonderfully squeaky toy. Okay, where were we? For my bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with, I think, the darkest color I used. So like this guy, I guess. No, this one. I'm going to use this one. And this is going to go as... Ma'am, do you mind? Thank you. I'm going to put this color as close to my lash line as I can. The ball. She brought me the ball. Okay, you're going to go get it? She can do this for hours. I'm not kidding. Now with Morphe M168, I'm going to go in with a little bit of that lighter color brown. So like that chocolatey one that I used to connect the yellow to the darker color in my outer V. I'm just going to put that right below it and blow it out a little bit more. I went ahead and finished up my bottom lashes off camera. I used my good old Total Tease by CoverGirl. And I also put this cream white shade in my brow bone to highlight. It's just a matte cream white. And then for my inner corner, I used this second one here in the JaclynHillxMorphe palette. It's blinding. I've also used that as a face highlight before and it looked amazing. And then I went ahead and set and I used Chill by Urban Decay and then MAC Fix Plus on top of it. So I just did one layer of each. They make my skin look a little more dewy rather than matte, which I like better during the summer. The last thing I'm going to do is put on a little bit of lip product. Now I'm actually just going to use this lip liner. This is the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner, and the consistency of them is so great that you really don't need anything on top of them. So I'm literally just going to wear it as my lip color. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you liked this little Pinterest recreation. I'm going to show you a picture of the makeup that I was inspired by. Not bad, right? Pretty close. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked this full glam Pinterest recreation, and I'd love to do more of them in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.